Have you ever spent hours coloring a drawing and somehow it still looks flat? Meanwhile, you see other artists using vibrant colors and somehow their art looks amazing. There's a reason for that, and surprisingly, it has very little to do with color itself. One of the biggest mistakes beginner artists make is obsessing over color palettes while completely ignoring something much more important: values. Today, we're going to learn why values are basically the secret foundation behind every great illustration. We are going to talk about value keys, contrast, lighting, mood. Then, I'm going to practice values on landscapes and objects. And finally, I'm going to challenge myself again and create a whole life illustration 3 times. Yes, 3 times, using all 3 major value keys. Let's see what happens. Alright, so before we start drawing anything, let's answer the obvious question: what even are values? Values are simply how light or dark something is. That's it, just brightness. If I remove all the colors from an illustration and turn it grayscale, what's left is the value structure. And honestly, understanding this is crucial for making good illustrations. A lot of beginner artists try to fix everything with color. They keep changing hues, but the real issue is often that the values aren't working. Because values are what create depth, focus, atmosphere, and lighting. They are what allow the viewer to instantly understand what's happening in your image. Think about movies. Imagine a horror movie where everything is bright and white. It doesn't feel scary anymore, right? Or imagine a cheerful summer scene where everything is dark, gray, and black. It suddenly feels depressing. Here's a fun experiment. Take one of your favorite illustrations and turn it black and white. If it still looks good, the values are probably doing their job. Your brain notices light versus dark incredibly fast, which is exactly why professional artists spend so much time planning values before they even think about colors. Many paintings actually start completely in grayscale. The color comes later, and the foundation comes first. The 3 main value keys. Now, let's talk about something incredibly important: the value keys. This is basically the overall distribution of light and dark values inside an image. And there are 3 main ones you will see everywhere. High key. High key uses mostly light values, from very bright values to mid values. Very little dark information here. These images usually feel soft, dreamy, peaceful, magical, and optimistic. Think about clouds, snow scenes, or fantasy illustrations. The lack of darkness creates a feeling of comfort. The challenge is maintaining enough contrast so the image doesn't become boring. Low key. Low key is almost the opposite. It mainly uses medium and dark values, very little bright information. This creates images that feel dramatic, mischievous, cinematic, serious, or emotional. Think about horror scenes, night environments, or dark fantasy. The bright areas become much more powerful because they are surrounded by darkness. A single light source suddenly becomes incredibly important too. And then we have high contrast. This one uses almost the entire value range: bright whites, deep blacks, and everything in between. This creates images that feel energetic, intense, dynamic, and powerful. It's amazing for focal points because the eye immediately goes toward the strongest contrast. A lot of action scenes rely on this principle. The danger is overusing contrast everywhere. Because if everything is important, nothing is important, okay? Before we start practicing, there are a few traps that almost everyone falls into. The first one is making everything the same value. If your character, background, and focal point all have similar brightness levels, the viewer doesn't know where to look. The second mistake is relying entirely on line art. Sometimes artists use strong outlines to compensate for weak value. The drawing works until the line art disappears. And the third mistake is being afraid of extremes. People often stay stuck in the middle gray area, no dark enough and no light enough. So don't be afraid of dark shadows or bright highlights. Push them further. Trust me. No theory. Let's actually test all of this. I want to practice values in two completely different situations, landscapes and objects. For landscapes, I focus mostly on depth. I chose these images references with different keys and tried to recreate them in grayscale. Then I moved to simple objects. And this is where I realized something embarrassing. I thought I understood light. Apparently, I didn't. Because the moment you remove color, you're forced to think about actual forms. Now, it was finally time for the real challenge. I wanted to create a hololive fan art, but instead of making just one version, I wanted to make 3. One high key, one low key, and one high contrast. The same character and same composition, but different value structures. Let's go! I first started with the sketch and composition. I didn't do line art because I don't want to rely on lines, at least too much. That was harder than expected and took so much time. So this is how the 3 versions turned out. Honestly, the results surprised me way more than expected. The high key version feels soft, nostalgic, and almost dreamlike, and the low key version suddenly looks cinematic and so dramatic. And the high contrast version felt so powerful. The crazy part is that the drawing itself barely changed, but the values completely changed the motion. Which honestly proves the entire point of this video. Values don't just help you render, they help you tell a story. Now, I feel I really want to add color to these drawings. Should I? Leave your answer in the comments. So here's your challenge. Create a drawing using a value key you normally never use. If you're always drawing bright colors illustration, try low key pieces. Just experiment and push things further than usual. If there's another topic you'd like me to explore in a future video, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!